Good morning. Good morning. So today's topic is personal branding, something that people pay a lot of lip service to, but not much. Not much else. I think people underestimate the value of building an effective personal brand. As I say, people pay lip service to it, but they don't actually go and do anything specifically about it. They maybe shine up their LinkedIn profile or uh, make sure that they're they're well. That's about it. They go and shine up their LinkedIn profile. There's not much more they do, and they think they've got it covered. Uh, but no, personal branding goes much deeper. So the personal branding is if you want to have an effective career, if you want to be in control of your career, then personal branding is key. It is the the way by which you are going to have control uh, um, of the way people see you, of your identity, of how people relate to you with what they see you as being influential about. Um, and yes, we want to be seen as being influential. If I look at my personal branding and I start by talking about what my personal identity is, I run a company called Careers Matter, and Careers Matter is a recruitment not a recruitment consultancy. I used to be a recruitment consultant, run a recruitment consultancy. Now I run a careers consultancy. Uh, but more than that, I want there to be something much more subtle about the whole thing, and that is that I run a program around careers mastery revolution. And the whole concept of the identity that I'm looking to build for me and my business is around being revolutionary in the careers market, not going along conventional roads. Um, and it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of communication. It takes consistency to make this come across. You will always hear me talk about the career mastery revolution and about my clients as being career mavericks. This is all part of me establishing the brand of my business and my own personal brand, which is as a career, um, a career consultant to tell people about another way of doing things. So let's relate that back to you, which is it's about you, not about me today, but understanding how I do it and seeing what I mean by it can help you to understand what you can do to establish your own personal brand. What is it you want to be known for? What is it you want people to say about you when they talk about you in terms of professional identity? And that is your personal brand. And how do you go about establishing that? How do you go about creating that, that picture of who you are, so that when people talk about you, they talk about you in a certain context, professionally again. But here's a key point. When we talk about you professionally, we're getting that information from all sources that relate to you. So the idea here of consistency. Yeah, you can have your personal Facebook page, but your first personal Facebook page is going to impact your personal brand. You could create sorry, not but yeah, your personal Facebook entry, that is. You could create a Facebook page, and that which is your profession, could be considered your professional identity, of course, but it's a consistent message, and what you say on um, your own personal Facebook is as important as what you say on LinkedIn, is as important as what you may say on Instagram. The The point of this is, and I've actually dived a bit lower than my notes are taking me here, going on to the social media aspects of things. The point is that the message across all media must be consistent. If you if you are saying things in your personal messaging that contradict or go against your what you want to be known as professionally, you're sending out a confused message, and people will not recognize who you are in a personal way, in a professional way. So when it comes to controlling our careers, who we want, what we want to be known for, is absolutely vital, because when we've established a persona, a professional persona, then people will come to us in certain instances, and that may include when they're looking for somebody for a job. So if they've established, if you've established your personal persona around a particular identity, so I don't know, let's say you want to be known as being a program, somebody who controls digital transformation for in a global environment. So that is your professional, your the capacity as a professional, what you do in your job. Then you talk about it, you convey information around that, you take on an authority for it, and you send that information out to people that says, I know this subject. This is a subject that I'm not just familiar with, but I am an authority in. This is the essence of creating your personal brand. Now I want to step back and to where it all starts. Personal branding is about you understanding your value, the value that you bring to your organization today. For example, what have you achieved in your organization that has affected the way that that organization runs, that has impacted the bottom line, that made a difference? It could have made the company money, or it could have saved them considerable time, or it could have saved their reputation, or it could even have saved the business. These are selling points for who you are. And they're not just selling points that go on a CV, and you'll hear me talk about that when I talk about CVs a lot. This is about conveying a consistent message and understanding the value that you bring, but promoting that value and making sure that people understand that you have made this impact, had this impact. And I'm not talking here about boasting. I'm not talking about we as Brits can get very very, what's the word for it, embarrassed about putting out what our achievements are. I I have spoken to a lot of people that actually don't want to uh, talk about what they've achieved because they don't think it's the right thing to do. But it is. We're not, let's not get shy here. We want to actually let people know that we are achievers, that we have an impact, and that we make a difference. And that is part of establishing our authority for the subject that we are talking about. There's no point me going to you and going, I'm the greatest career advisor ever, but I'm not going to tell you what I've done. I'm not going to let you talk to see what my clients are saying about me. That would be foolish. We know we do this for our business. We have testimonials that our clients for business come forward and say, I work with this organization and it was the greatest experience ever. They did it all perfectly for me, and and it's made my business expand exponentially. We want people to talk about our businesses like that. We need people to talk about us like that. It is important that we convey across to people that we have an impact, and that in that impact we have authority. If you want to control your career, if you want your career to have meaning, if you want to have influence, then you've got to show why you have that influence. um you know I see people on their CVs, and they sort of talk about it a little bit on their LinkedIn profiles about publications that they've done about on certain subjects, but it's sort of like a book in a bookshop. It doesn't sell being on a bookshelf unless the right person happens to walk past that bookshelf and look at it. The only way that book is going to sell is if somebody goes out and promotes it and goes, if you've got this particular problem, I've got a book that can solve that particular problem. Have you looked at what I've said about this? Can you see, so the point is we have to promote ourselves, and personal branding is about self-promotion. Let's not get shy. We have to promote ourselves. I'm not talking about running marketing campaigns like you might for a business, but I am talking about getting out there on the platforms that you're on the wherever it is that you talk to your professional community, whether that is LinkedIn. Certainly LinkedIn is something that you will be looking at, but it might be on Facebook through Facebook pages, and it might be through Instagram. But there are, those are just social media. There are other platforms that you use professionally, and making sure that you are getting out on those platforms, or even publishing posts on a blog, on a regular blog. Run a regular blog about what you do and about your influence within what you do. Be authoritative, have justification in what you say, but get out there. Create a blog, create posts, post regularly. And yeah, that again, it goes back to places like LinkedIn, but it's not exclusively those sorts of areas. It is also in your communities that you are with. Go to external events where I'm trying to think what the word is. Where we take where you go and I don't know, the regular sort of annual cybersecurity events that take place, and get involved with them. Don't just be a participant, no, not a participant, an audience, the audience, be a participant. Get out on those stages and talk about your influence and about your authority. Become an authority. Learn more about your subject and make sure that people know who you are and what you stand for. And that's another point that is vital here. This isn't just about conveying your professional experience and and authority. It's also about your standards, about your values. These are all vital to who you are and why people will want to do business with you, and why people will want to employ you in certain jobs, etc., etc. So convey your values in what you do. As I said, this all starts with understanding the value that you bring in the first place, but in everything that you do, convey a consistent message. There's a whole lot more that I can talk about personal branding. It's a big subject. What I've tried to do today is just convey the idea of self-promotion and talking about the value that you bring, the influence that you have, and the authority that you should have in that. And by not bottling it up and being shy. If you're serious about your career, then be serious about the identity that people associate with you. Be clear about who they see you as, and make sure that you are projecting that in everything that you do across all platforms that you've got a presence on, and create a presence beyond that. Get involved with things, push yourself, be authoritative. That's what I'm trying to convey today. I have on my website, I've got it's not an in-depth course or anything like that, but I have a 5-day email course on the subject of personal branding. The idea of this is just to give you a flavor of the areas that you can actually work on. And I will put a link in my in the descriptions for this video on whatever platform you're reading it on. But the link is shown now on the screen. It's on my careersmatter.co.uk website, / personal -brand. If you go to there, you can see, you can sign up for this 5-day. It's a 5-day. It sends you an email over 5 days. On each email, we talk about personal one aspect of personal branding. So if you're interested in that, sign up for it. And I will be back on Monday, and we'll have another subject around career mastery revolution. This is James Foster, and until Monday.